I mean, St. Lucia we're just so lucky that St. Lucia has a rich array of biodiversity, right? In terms of, if you leave from the coast to the interior of the island, the vegetation will change. And so too, the species of animals will change as well as the vegetation. So it actually offers a habitat for many different animal species. And this is beautiful, right? Not just the animal species, but the flora aspect of St. Lucia, which is the plant aspect of it, is also very beautiful because the plant also has beautiful flowers that you can actually see. St. Lucia is not flat. St. Lucia is a very mountainous with beautiful hills and valleys and stuff like that. And it's also very spectacular to see the scenery and the landscape of St. Lucia. It's also very spectacular.
The town of Grosley, built on the island's tradition of the sea and fishing, this northern community has grown to become one of St. Lucia's most iconic centers.
My community have definitely benefited from the tourism industry in the sense that it is an outstanding community, and one of the key events is the Grosley Friday Night Street Party, which is an international event. Most tourists would mention to you when they hear the name Grosley, it would be linked to the Grosley Street Party.
But in the town, for instance, every year there is gourmet racing that takes place between Martinique and Grosley. And it is not only an economic benefit, but there is a historical story behind it that links Martinique to Grosley.
Community tourism, it gives me the opportunity as a business owner of a local restaurant and bar to interact with the tourists and the guests, and also the local. It gives me this opportunity to introduce to them our local cuisine and also our a la carte menu.
The tourism industry is our biggest industry now because it has taken over agriculture. And the tourists, they appreciate art. They come from a culture where they understand art. What I do, I call it functional art because you can use it in everyday life. For example, I do oil burners, mosquito holders, I do mugs, I do shot glasses, I do magnets. I get my inspiration from the natural beauty. Having conversation with people, they ask me stuff.
The special aspects of the town of Grosley. Grosley is home of Jazz Festival. When you look at it, we host the main stage jazz event at Pigeon Island, and that is Grosley. We have the street party, which is a Grosley street party. We have one of the second biggest churches on island, which is the St. Joseph the Worker parish. Fishermen do go out and bring in a beach catch. Most of the persons who come, they come to Grosley to purchase their fish to go out and vend it elsewhere.
But this was the Trouble Chasers during Comedicide when Leonard DeVoe and Carl de Corbière came up this area and found some pottery, and he confirmed it as an Amerindian site. And that was not all. He was stunned when he found a statuette complete, only the top, a woman, which we now call La Voûte Lady.
A must-see is Ridgeway Beach, Pigeon Island Beach, Grosley Friday Night Street Party. the fort at Pigeon Island.
A must-see when it comes to Groseley. The first thing comes to mind is the beachfront, and also the historical buildings that still exist in Groseley.
I would say one of the must-see for Groseley is, well, this old convent building, although many people are not aware of what the building is about. They're not aware of what has transpired over the years. However, it is a must-see because when we mention convent, people think it's just a church building. However, this is where the church, the nuns use as their home. We also have the old belfry on my left, which was refurbished after the storm, and right now it has a new building, but the first bell that was erected in that building is still on the premises. It's a must-see.
Trust properties that we own are open to the public. That is our mandate, to allow people to enjoy them. So at some places like Pigeon Island, there is a fee to enter, and other places there isn't. So access is part of the mandate of the trust. In terms of restoration, we are actually planning to do that right here in Pigeon Island. Across from the other side, there is a structure which has now gone to ruins, but it was the home of Admiral Rodney when he was here, based in St. Lucia. And we have plans to rebuild it to the way it was when it was constructed in the first place. Because if we do not do it, we will lose these structures forever. They're about 200 years old, and time has taken its toll.
I think average St. Lucians know of the community. They may not know of everything that happens within the community, where we need to publicize it or market it better that most persons know.
Babonneau is in the northwest of St. Lucia and is home to a diverse mix of farming, ecotourism, and beachside communities. A visit to Babonneau may well be the most rewarding escape to the real St. Lucia.
Lately, when you come to a country, you want to know the country's culture. You want to eat the local food, what the community produce, and work to see what work they do in the community.
When you look at Babonneau as a community, and not only that, Babonneau as an agricultural-based community, a lot of the tourists tend to want to come to communities like Babonneau because of the agricultural-based activities that are performed or take place in the community.
Most St. Lucians are aware that Babonneau is the largest vegetable producer in St. Lucia. We produce all kind of vegetables and as well as root crops and fruits, and we have a lot of talents in Babonneau. We do a lot of vegetables, we plant, and we the one who really feed the majority of the country at large.
Community tourism means the community coming together to provide a product so that our tourists, our visitors can enjoy what we have to offer. So the entire community is participating in the process, and the community will also benefit from whatever values that the tourists bring into our country.
When you look at a lot of the communities around St. Lucia, I mean Soufrière in particular, even Babonneau, where we are now, there are quite a few tourist sort of attracted area where the community was developed, or areas within the community was developed in order to be able to attract tourism activity, and therefore the issue of activities within the community is kind of important, and something that perhaps can allow a community to sort of generate some sort of revenue from the activities within the community.
That's conservation of our biocultural heritage. So it's not just the natural environment, but the cultural environment has to be preserved. Because the tourists come for the cultural environment as well. The history, they come to see how people make nas, fish pots. They come to see how people make baskets and mats and coal pots. And these are the things we should keep showing. Very important. How you make coconut oil, for example. That's what the culture is like, that they take part in doing. They take the pleasure in socializing and helping the visitors to embrace our community projects.
Babonneau is a very large community, and there is a lot of potential for tourism. And we have communities that have benefited from tourism. We have the Turtle Watch in the Dibara area. We have Fonlatusab, where they actually show you the traditional farin making and cassava. And then we have the Sky Ride, where the people go and enjoy the forest ride. These are areas that have benefited directly from tourism. We also have a viewing point in Plateau, where you can see the old Marquis Estate, the Great House. You can see the Rodney Bay, Pigeon Point. You can see Martinique. On a very bright day, you have the whole view of the north of the island.
Culture is one of the must-see in our community. We have our rainforest. We have our local food, local cuisine. The Turtle Watch is one of the areas that can be you can come to see.
I believe Babonneau is like an untapped gem. Babonneau is a huge constituency, and we have so much to offer. I mean, just honestly, just the flora and fauna of Babonneau is exquisite. But then you get into the community. Go to places like Fonlatusab, which taps into time since gone that really and truly a tourist would give to be part of. You actually become part of the community. And I mean, we have places like Sky Rides at Babonneau and Chasse at Babonneau.
But what Babonneau people are still puzzled about is the birthplace of Empress Josephine. And we have been digging the history to find out where exactly she was born. And the older people around are saying that she was born at Paybush, just in the Babonneau community. And they are speculating that the word Paybush, as said, is in French. In English means keep your mouth shut. And they are saying that when Empress Josephine was born on the farm in a small place like St. Lucia, the French did not want it to be known that she was born in a poor rural environment. So they quickly rushed her over to Martinique so that it would not be recorded that she was born on the plantation. And people are saying that maybe that is why they call the place Paybush. Keep your mouth shut, don't whisper, don't talk about that, because we don't want people to know that Empress Josephine was born on a plantation in St. Lucia.
This is the village of Anse-la-Raye, or in English, the Bay of Rays. As with most of our coastal communities, Anse-la-Raye was founded on the traditions of fishing and is still so today.
Community, the people, tourism is tourists in the village. us and the community trying to make a living out of the tourist dollar. And I don't use the word community tourism, I use the term village tourism, which is a term I came up with, a little while back, maybe years ago. And we try very hard to, especially I'm from Ansley originally, and where we have a lot of vendors, a lot of nice attractions for the tourists, 20 minutes from the port catcheries and from the resorts. I mean, that's one of the best villages. I think the livelihood is what brings tourists to the village. They want to experience something new, something different, local life, and I believe that they get that in Ansley quite a bit. I guess one of the attractions they have is the fish fry activity on a Friday night, and which brings a lot of tourists, because not everybody want to come to St. Lucia and stick in a hotel. You want to go out and experience the island. Let me go and bring the island. So what happens is that the tourist dollar now trickles all the way down to the little man, and this is what it's about.
Fishing is not only in her name, but Ansley still lives from the spoils of the sea.
Well, the people are nice to the tourists. We have the jetty, which is a unique jetty in St. Lucia. We have various things like fish pots, the net fishing. I used to do my joinery work, doing my little farming. They really appreciate what I'm doing. They are giving me encouragement, like to keep it up. The inspiration is deep within me. It's part of me. It's a unique thing. You don't usually get them things throughout the island. And I think the only place you could get it presently is in Ansley.
As showcased on her Fish Fry Fridays with all manners of seafood, from flying fish and conch to lobster and crab.
St. Lucians, I find a lot take things for granted, and as a result, they're spontaneous people. They go when there is a holiday and say, well, let's find where it's a place to go. But to make it a educational stuff, or make it something that something to remember, something that you want to go do every weekend, or some kind of attraction, it's not happening. We want to do things because we have the time available, and sometimes they rather go to a bar instead. You understand? But the natural beauty that the tourists are experiencing, that we have actually taken for granted. First and foremost, I guess it's numerous things. We have beautiful waterfalls, cascading waterfalls, which is a must-do attraction. We have the vendors, which has formed an association, and they actually go out of the way to welcome those guests inside there. So you get in an experience come inside there. We have local restaurants, we have all the churches, we have estates that people have not seen. And what's most and foremost is having it close to catcheries. So you don't have to go far to have the experience of St. Lucia. And you can get all that in one place. You come here and you get everything you want in Ansley right there. Yeah? Nightlife, day life, attractions, and so on.
Baba basala kiyo na ikiyo aineo baba aineo
A quaint and quiet community is often referred to as the Forgotten Village. No one even really knows where the name Canaries might have come from. Some say it derived from the indigenous Amerindian word for cooking pot. Others that it is an homage to Spain's Canary Islands off the coast of West Africa.
A quaint village. It's pristine. It's one of the traditional villages. You can still find persons washing by the river, but more importantly, it's friendly and you feel at home. It's a traditional village. We have a lot to offer. This is the site of the most resistance during the times of slavery. We have many brigand sites, although I don't want to call it brigand, more freedom fighters. These sites need to be explored. We have the Ansel Alabeti, the Bay of Freedom. There are many, many things in Canaries that set us apart. We have caves where we have a cave running from Ansel Alabeti right over to Ansel Vedi. No one knows about these things. We have three wonderful, spectacular waterfalls. I lived in Canada for 35 years. I've lived in England. I can tell you, the persons who are coming, they want something natural, real, to feel part of the community. They already have 5-star hotels where they're coming from. They would still like to take a walk up the river. They would like to see the persons making sand or stones, roasting breadfruit, the natural local things which Canaries, as I say, a traditional village can offer. And it's the people. And what sets it apart is the language, the Creole language. So that sets apart from St. Vincent, for example. We do not speak such languages in St. Vincent. But I find the persons say I could speak of Canaries, they're very fun-loving and they look out for each other. They can laugh easily. They're laid back and they rise to occasions. If something would happen, everybody would come and rally around me. It's sort of clannish maybe, but this is in a good way. So that's what I would think, the people themselves, the human resources.
Just go there and enjoy the place. Leave nothing but footprints kind of thing, you know. Take nothing but pictures, you know. That kind of ethos.
Dennery on the east coast of St. Lucia is one of the newest entrants into our tourism attractions. Always a breathtaking stop with amazing vistas, Dennery now has a lot to see.
Just think about communities like Dennery, for example. That's like what, 30 minutes from Castries, right? Almost all of the visitors, the international visitors, have to go through the East Coast, right? I do not believe that we have taken advantage of the things. For example, the whole Fonda area, the whole Mabuya Valley, and the mystique around the Mabuya Valley, and all of the things that traditionally we have known, like the Laja Bless and all of those sorts of things. We have not packaged those things and really created opportunities for St. Lucia, for even St. Lucians and especially visitors to really see and embrace that. And it is not something that they would have to travel miles. I mean, I travel all over the world, and sometimes to get to a site, you have to drive for hours. We're talking about 20, 30 minutes away.
Louvet is one of the places that's just breathtaking. When you go there, you just, both on the natural and cultural heritage. I mean, it's the last area where you could find the iguana. This land was called the land of the iguana, and I'm passionate about that. You know, you have the iguanas. That's the only place you could get the endemic, not just indigenous, you know, endemic, the only place in the world you could find that lizard. You have bird species that are unique to St. Lucia and to the world. You know, you have plants. You have places where the turtle come to nest. You have old Amerindian sites. And it's so positioned in the shadow of La Saucière, which is about 650 meters high. In fact, the name Louvet is named after the river, you know, that comes from the fountainhead is the La Saucière, and it goes down, it flows down into the Louvet Bay. And what a beautiful place. I mean, you have two offshore islands, Ramier Island and Roche Island. Beautiful offshore islands.
Fondo, I say, quarter of Dennery, Abuja Valley. And Fondo is a historical park where the Europeans used to make sugar at Fondo a long time ago. So at Fondo they have all the remains of the mills on site. So they have the steam mill, the wind mill, the cattle mill, the boiling and carrying house, and also the juice holder. Where wildlife is concerned, the kind of wildlife you will find here, you wouldn't find no lion and tigers at Fondo. But the wildlife you will find here, you will find agouti, opossum, iguana, boa constrictor, but no parrots. The parrots, they more live in the rainforest. Yeah. Because you find Fondo is too dry for parrots to live, and parrots lay nest on trees at 120 feet tall. So more in the rainforest you will find parrots. When the guests come, they more going by the beach sometimes, and they more into the history. But the way I know bird, like when I raised a little boy, it was very difficult to go to school at that time. My mother had 8 kids, you know, and kids were very difficult. So me and my brothers used to hunt birds with our sling, you know. And whenever the bird cry, I will tell you which bird without I say. When you're young, very stupid, you know, about it. But while I grow about it and be a tour guide, you have to go, according to the rules, you know, don't kill the bird and stuff, you know. So right now, I want to give the youngsters a lecture, don't kill the birds and stuff, you know, because they are very nice to see. People not into tourism, but they're more into the farming stuff, you know. But the way I see it, like, they have to bring like the yam and stuff, like where they can sell for the guests, and then the guests will know about it, how they cater it and stuff, you know. Because several times I tell them about the bananas and they want to see how it is, you know, underneath the bag. You know, I tell them about the tannin, like they want to taste it, so they can put the farming and the tourism together just to make them know what about it.
I think there is the Dennery Mabuya Valley Development Foundation, and they're doing things like, for example, organizing tours and so on. I think that one of the things that we have on St. Lucia, which has to be sold to the people and what it is that we have. Of course, we have the natural beauty in the valley area. You have waterfalls in Dennery, you have the waterfall, you have the zip line, you have all of those fantastic things, and we see a lot of visitors coming to Dennery. But I think that we have a lot more. That so far, I think right now we're just exploring these potential offerings, if you will, to the visitors and locals alike. But I think that there is a lot more that it is that we can offer, and not just the street parties. And I'm speaking not just for Dennery, but for St. Lucia.
Is that we have a wonderful and amazing product. It's just up to us now to build on the product that we have, embrace the strengths that we do have. And our people need to also appreciate to a greater extent the importance of tourism to us as a destination, so that we guard it very jealously and we continue to do well.
You know, we could show them more of our livelihood, how we live. Like, for example, how do we make dugout canoes? The first vessel that the Amerindians came to this part of the world is no longer being made on the island.
The cultural and artistic component of the tourism industry, or of the culture offered to the tourism industry, I think is still very underdeveloped, and it's an area where we need to focus a lot more.
St. Lucia's tourism product is focused primarily around a visitor experience that is authentic. It is the quality of the experience that visitors have that will continue to make them come to St. Lucia, make them want to come to St. Lucia, and I would encourage everybody who is thinking about coming to St. Lucia to do so, because it is when you get here that you will realize just what a great place it is.
Tourists come for a different experience. They come to experience our biocultural heritage. And by the biocultural heritage, I mean the natural and the cultural, how we have used and utilized our environment for our enjoyment, for our survival, and for our entertainment. So they've come to partake in our environment, biocultural environment. And if we destroy it, and the two major bodies of water and the comfort that is the beaches, the sea, sun and sand, and the rivers. That's where we get our water, our fresh water. So if we pollute these important bodies of water, in essence, we're destroying ourselves.
We really need to embrace our creative people, give them the tools that they need, give them the environments that they need to grow. And not just to grow as artists, but to grow as businesses, to employ people, to invest, make sure that they have the incentives and the environment that they need. Because the creative industries is as much about creativity as it is about industry.
My name is Macressy Joseph. I'm from the town of Gros-Islet. Growing up, I always wanted to be either a fireman, a footballer, or artist. Let's fast forward to 2013, I'm a ceramic artist. So I achieved one of my goals. It all started in 1993 when I had to choose my subjects for CXC. I wanted to do art. But unfortunately, the art class was full, so I did the next best thing and chose craft. And I was introduced to ceramic. So that's how I became a ceramic artist. I loved it so much that I had to do SBA for the last year. We had to give it up in '96, but my first year I finished first term, did everything, then I left school, wasn't doing anything. So I got a job as construction, then shortly afterwards I got another job as, how you call this, at Bagshot doing screen printing. Unfortunately, my teacher was looking for me all the time because I got the best craft student award. So she was looking all the time. I didn't know how she found out where I was working, and she gave me a job to run a business for her. So that was in '97, and in 2000 I started my own business. I started very small. I used to buy clay from her and from all the people, and then I get to know how to order stuff from overseas. Well, I use both the local clay. There's a brown clay, you can get it in Choiseul, you can get it in Bexar, and I also use white imported clay. I mostly use a technique which is called the mold form, so I also make my own mold. I learn how to do it on YouTube, and I ask people around how to do it, so I can design my own stuff. It might take an hour just to make it, but you also have to leave it out to dry. It's like a process, it might take days. But if you check it in time, it might just take about a couple hours, because you can, especially if it's a press, you just press, you have to prepare the clay, which just take about maybe an hour. Then when you press it in the mold, you can just take it out. But you have to leave it to dry overnight and make sure it's properly dry, because if you put it in the kiln and it's still wet, it might explode inside of the kiln. And what is a kiln is an oven, but it's an electrical oven. And then when you take it out, you have to paint it. And if you have to paint it again, and then you glaze it. The glaze is like a glass or a varnish, and then you have to put it back inside the kiln for about 5.5 hours, and then the piece is done. But if you're mass producing a lot of products, it might take you 2, 3, 4 weeks to do a lot of them. And you cannot do just one piece if it's a small piece, because the cost of electricity is very expensive in St. Lucia. So you have to make sure the kiln is filled before you can fire it. That's why sometimes when the people order, they think you can get it by tomorrow. So most of them I try to explain to them, they have to order in advance so we can get the working time for them. I'm just starting to use the local clay more because of the technique I use mold. Because of the material, our local clay is made of, it's kind of harder, so I try to do more handmade things with it. But I'm also doing more, trying to go to the local market because sometimes the tourist season is slow. So I also do things for the restaurants and for people personally. What's unique about my product, I build it from the bottom up. Because most time people, order souvenirs and they just write St. Lucia on it. But with my work, I don't like buy the glass and just write St. Lucia on it. I build the glass, I build the mug, whatever, I paint it. So it's unique. It comes out from me or through other ideas. So if you want a unique piece, I can also create a unique piece for you. It's not something you might find anywhere. I might think about it. I might, yes, that's why it's a bit unique. If my business should grow, I might need to employ more people. But it might not be on a full time because the way the market is, it's on a high and then it's on a low. Maybe I can get some school children as a part-time job and they will develop, because what you do in the school is just a basic, but if you come and work with me, you'll get better ideas. So when you're ready to do your SBAs for school, it will be much easier. But I can see as hiring people as a part-time, but not as a full-time, because I know the worth of an artist. I don't think I'll be making that money. I want the money to be paying somebody, because I won't want to cheat anybody. The tourism industry is our biggest industry now because it has taken over agriculture. And the tourists, they appreciate art. They come from a culture where they understand art. So most times they will pay top bucks. But the thing is, when they travel to a different island, they see the same product. So when they come to buy your work, you have to explain to them it's you that making it. And most times they might pay triple the price, because at first they might complain, they say it's too expensive because they think it's just another piece of work from maybe made in China or something. Then when you explain to them that you're making it, because you must always write your name and made in St. Lucia on your work. That's one thing, and have St. Lucia on it. And it's a good way of advertising St. Lucia that the tourists don't have to pay dollars for. Imagine a tourist buy your work and it's overseas. Or maybe they are at the home or at the workplace and somebody sees and says, oh, this is beautiful. And they see St. Lucia on it. They say, oh, then they give the story about they went to St. Lucia, they had a good time. So that's money the tourist board don't have to pay for. It's free advertisement.
My name is Alcina Nolly. I'm an artist and a teacher. I paint and I make jewelry and teach both of those. I am in love with St. Lucia. I've been here now for 22 years. My father was St. Lucian, and I was born in the States. When I came down to visit the first time in '83, my husband and I were walking downtown, and it was in October, so it's the rainy season. We ducked underneath a tree to get out of a shower. As I'm standing there, I'm saying I'm thankful for this tree. I look up and find that it's a ficus tree. Now at home in the States, you buy ficus trees in a pot, you put them in your house and they get this high or so, and they're very delicate. This ficus tree is 40 feet high. You know, wondrous thing. And that's one of my continuous inspirations are the leaves and the trees, and I have leaves and trees around my house. Kubori is where I live, and it was originally an estate and a bird sanctuary, and a lot of the trees are still here, a lot of the birds are still here, and they get into my art. I'm also greatly inspired by the people and the culture. I did a painting last year of Carnival, and the year before I do a series of Carnival paintings. And I'll probably do something for Junin Creole also. I'm inspired by the nature. For instance, this baby coconut. I was inspired by that and made one of my favorite pieces of jewelry. It's a baby coconut, and you can open it and put a little bit of something inside. Seeing animals in the street. When we first came in '83, there were lots of cows and chickens and things walking around downtown Castries. And so some of these things are my best sellers. I see things like cashew trees and banana flowers, you know, weird banana flower. The tourists love them. I love them. The tourists love them. And I'll never run out of inspiration. After my first visit here, I took home my paintings, sold every single last one. And I said, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is my subject matter. And I'm also glad to teach. I'm a born teacher. I taught in the schools here for years. I taught in the United States for years. And then when I retired, I said I was going to come and do my art on my own. But at the same time, I still do private lessons. Always wanted to be an artist. When I was young, I wanted to be a cartoonist for Disney, but that didn't happen. When I went to college, I was a science major and found out as I went along through the year that the reason I was getting good marks in science was because I can draw the specimens so well. Talking with my advisor, we changed my major to art, and I became an art specialist in school. So, and one of the things that I'm really interested right now is jewelry making. And there is a new product out that comes out of Japan that has silver in a clay form, and you can mash it, roll it, stamp it, do whatever you want. Then you put it in the kiln. When it comes out, it's pure silver. And it's very easy to work with. No saws, no drills, all of that heavy work that you used to have to do. And it's a perfect thing for a tourist to do in a couple hours to make a piece of jewelry, a souvenir of St. Lucia. We also make digital paintings. I paint directly on the computer with a painting program, and then I print them out on handmade paper that's made here in St. Lucia, banana paper. And I can print those at any size, 16 by 20 or small 4 by 5s. The small 4 by 5s I put together in a handmade book. And I've had customers jump up and down. Wow, this is so great, because it has all different kinds of pictures of the floral, the fauna, people, scenes, the pitons, the falls, the flowers, the trees, everything that a tourist is interested in. Tourists are coming to St. Lucia to see the culture and to see the people and to see the scenery. And they want to take home a souvenir that will last of what they've seen. It's perfect.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this tour of our community. Come see us as you travel around our beautiful island.